Joining us now is live as Republican Tennessee Senator Marsha Blackburn. Welcome, Senator. Great to have you here in New York on set. How much is China, we have to ask ourselves, willing to or already helping Russia in this fight?
We know that China and Russia had established this friendship that had no limits. We know that China decided they were going to jump in and bail out the MasterCard, Visa, Amex ban, and did that with Union Pay cards. We know that China is saying they will pick up their purchases of oil and gas from Russia. Russia is basically a big gas depot with an army. We know that. So China is going to underpin them. But Sandra, one of the reasons we need to get Russia completely out of SWIFT and make certain they're not able to process those energy purchases there, one reason we need to continue the sanctions on Russia, on the oligarchs, Putin, the energy sector, is because we want to know what this relationship with Russia and China is going to be and how far China is going to go. Are they going to pull India into this? Is China going to try to soft land Russia? Are they going to stop our supply chains? So it will be interesting to see what Jake Sullivan found out, what kind of parameters he put in place, what red line he drew.
Do you have faith that he did?
My concern is that everything this administration has done has been retroactive. They chose not to do preemptive measures, and because of that, the situation got worse.
You mentioned India in our discussion on China, and there's a reason for that, because we're getting brand new reporting, and Reuters is reporting this among other outlets as well at this hour, that India may take up a Russian offer to buy their crude oil and other commodities, I should mention, at a discount. Reuters is reporting that this is according to two Indian officials, and a sign that they might have a deal going forward. India needs oil, and if they see Russian oil not being purchased by the United States, selling at a discount, does India now step in and buy that Russian oil and help prop up the Putin economy?
And India, who is looking for cheap oil and cheap energy, and bear in mind, they have a large swath of their country that still does not have stable electrical power.
Right.
And they don't abide by any kind of environmental rules. So it would make sense. But Sandra, the thing we can do to be sure that we are energy independent and that we can sell to our allies, we need an Operation Warp Speed for energy. And this is something the Biden administration ought to do right now. Pull together the federal agencies, the private sector, and say, how do we get more oil, more transportation fuel, more gas, more home heating fuel, and generate electric power? How do we do that quickly? Because we know for sure finishing the Keystone Pipeline, you can finish that a lot faster than you could generate enough power to be distributed to fill the needs of an electric vehicle fleet.
And we've heard a lot about that. I want to get your reaction to this, because this is just coming into us via Peter Doocy at the White House. He is reporting that a White House source is telling Fox News right now that they are, the White House, quote, discussing a trip to Europe in the coming weeks. Your reaction?
Too little, too late. They should have done this before there were invasions. They should have put sanctions in place before the invasion. They should have kept the sanctions on Keystone Pipeline. They should have done sales of lethal aid to the Ukrainians before the fact. And now that this looks like it's going to continue to be a lengthy endeavor, now they're going to send people over and try to work on this. But I hope they don't take Madam Vice President.
I want to put this tweet up on the screen real quick. Final thought on this. Nikki Haley this morning. Russia's running to China for help because they share the same goals. Weaken freedom, weaken the West, weaken America. The world needs to finally wake up to this reality. Final question to you. If you have continued to say this White House is leading from behind on the Ukraine invasion, based on Nikki Haley's point there, is there more Congress can be doing to get ahead of this, to hold China accountable from helping Russia in this fight.
We should pick up our pace when it comes to dealing with China in great power competition. I have legislation right now that is the Say No to the Silk Road Act that would deal with the digital yuan. We need to make certain that we are blocking what China is trying to do with our allies and our friends when it comes to technology and the use of Huawei.
And one thing I keep pointing out is the transition to green energy and the energy discussion in the middle of this war. It does point to growing more dependent on China, who produces a lot of that lithium that goes into the EV batteries.
You're right.
China. Great to have the discussion. Thank you very much for being here, Senator. Thank you.